Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for joining today's webinar. Let's give one more minute for more folks to join us for today's webinar. Anyway, my name is Eber, and today we have folks from Aspire who will be sharing more about their financial related service offerings. And I think for today, as you all will learn, will be how to prepare for Prime Day itself. Prime Day will be happening in July this year. And if you are new to Amazon, one of the most important thing will be to understand what are the fundamentals, things like logistics, payments that you need to be successful as a new seller on Amazon. Cool. So let's kick off the webinar right now. So my name is Eber, and I'm part of the Amazon Global Selling team based in Singapore. And for today, I will share a bit more on selling on Amazon and how to prepare for Amazon Prime Day 2022. Here is the agenda of my presentation. I will share with you more about Amazon Global Selling, where global selling fits into the entire Amazon ecosystem, the benefits, tools, and program that we offer to Amazon sellers like yourself, and to learn more about Prime Day this year. So for Amazon Global Selling, what we do based out of Singapore is that we actually help local businesses in Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Cambodia to actually build global businesses, and most importantly, build international brands where Americans and Europeans are willing to buy and to know more about brands coming out from Southeast Asia. As you can see from the screen, selling on Amazon, it allows you to sell in many countries, right? But for today, what I would like to focus on will be North America. So it'll be USA, Canada, and Mexico. But before you start looking into Amazon as a whole globally, I will actually encourage everyone to just start selling in the US. The reason is because the US is the largest marketplace out of all the marketplace that Amazon is having. So the US itself, I would say it covers a majority of where our customer is currently based at. Yeah. So here are some figures. As mentioned, we are present in 20 plus countries. We have 300 over million worldwide active customers, and 200 million plus Prime members. So I would say that our value proposition is that we really do have a lot of eyeballs when it comes to e-commerce itself. And secondly is that we have world-class logistics infrastructure. I think in terms of warehousing, in terms of technology around logistics, Amazon top it all. We have the best in class. Okay. And the third one to note is that every year Amazon will actually invest in many technology and tools to actually improve sellers experience. We give you more tools to improve your sales, to get your name out there. So I will now touch on the benefits, tools, and programs. First and foremost, I think many people will ask me, Abel, what should I sell on Amazon, right? And I think this is the most common question, and it boils down to product selection. And normally we will always direct you guys to our actually Amazon.com, the place where you shop, because you can actually find best sellers, new releases, trending, wish for, and give ideas all there. And it's being updated on an hourly or daily basis. So in the next slide, you can see where you can press. So as you can see on the screen, in the red box, that's where you can actually find out what are people looking for and what do they want to buy on Amazon. Okay. After that, once you know what you are going to sell, the next thing to consider will be your logistics. Because you're selling globally or you're selling to the United States, we have this program called Fulfillment by Amazon. In short, it is actually a logistic program for you to scale your business. And the sixth benefit of FBA, as you can see from the screen, it actually helps with fulfillment cost because there's economical of scale. It helps you to reach out to the million Prime members that we have, increase conversion. We handle the last mile, meaning that when somebody orders, we will pick, pack, and ship, and also cover the customer service and customer returns. So if let's say you're a one-man or two-man startup based in out of Southeast Asia, you will actually find this very useful because you do not need to worry about logistics and the last mile delivery and customer service. Everything will be handled by Amazon. In this slide, you can see the difference between fulfillment by merchant and fulfillment by Amazon. If you go by FBA, everything is handled by Amazon. But if you are doing it by yourself, things like customer service, you have to answer them in the local language within 24 hours. I think that will be a challenge if you're scaling up your business. And the next one will be you have to actually provide a US based return address for them to return the products to you if they find if there's any issue with the product itself. So I will actually highly encourage you to consider fulfillment by Amazon. Next thing, which is very unique to Amazon, will be this thing called Amazon Brand Registry. Amazon Brand Registry is actually a program where we help to protect your intellectual property rights. And in short, we are actually, what we want you to do is we want you to have a trademark to be a brand owner on Amazon. And by doing so, with a US trademark or a Singapore trademark, you will be protected and you can actually remove hijackers on our platform. Within this entire Amazon Brand Registry so-called program, there are some other things you need to know of. One of it will be called Amazon IP Accelerator. This is actually a program where we work with law firms, trademark law firms in US and Singapore to offer you discounted rate when it comes to trademark registration. The next one will be transparency. Transparency is actually a program where each and every SKU that you sell on Amazon will be labeled with a unique QR code. This is to prevent counterfeit. So end consumer can actually scan and they can track where this product is coming from and who is selling it. The last one will be Amazon Project Zero. This is a program where you can actually remove bad actors on your own without filing any tickets to Amazon. So these are programs to actually protect you as a brand owner when selling on Amazon. As brand owners, you will be offered other so-called features such as A+ content, where you can actually build up a very nice listing to get more eyeballs and more conversions. Stores will be, you are able to build a brand store on Amazon itself. The next one, which is very powerful, will be this thing called Amazon Brand Analytics. This is where you can actually find out the demographics. You can find out what are your competitors are doing on the marketplace. And it allows you as a seller to actually understand where you need to improve. It can be your listing, it can be your advertising, or even the selection itself. And lastly, sponsored brands, where this is part of the Amazon advertising suite of products, where brand owners have more places for you to place your SKU for exposure. Next, I will touch a bit more on Amazon advertising. If you are familiar with Facebook ads or Google ads, Amazon advertising is the next big thing. Same thing. It allows you to discover, it helps you to discover your product, increase conversion, and give you clear reporting metrics. And I will say that Amazon advertising is growing year on year because e-commerce sellers find it very useful. Right now, I will say the cost per click is much lower than anything out there. So in this slide, you can see it's quite similar. So we have sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored brand videos, and sponsored display. So it means that you can actually have many forms of advertising just on Amazon itself. The next thing to share about will be this thing called the New Seller Incentive Program. This is a very new program. I will say that for the past 3+ years here at Amazon, this is the first time Amazon is actually offering you bonuses when selling on Amazon. And I will say that if you're a new seller and you're identified as a brand owner, you can actually benefit from a 5% bonus up to a $1 million sales. And you also be granted $200 in credit for using Amazon Global Logistics. And also, you also have credits for Amazon ads. So to find out more, you can always scan the QR code as you can see on the screen. On another note, if you do want to find out more from this program, you can actually reach out to our account managers. Okay, next I will share a bit more on Prime Day. So as you may know, Prime Day is a Amazon so-called period where many people goes to Amazon.com to buy stuff, and it normally happens on a 2-day period, a 48 hours period. Prime Day history, just to share a bit, it started off in 2015 as a 24 hours promotional event, but now it has become a 48 hours one. And every year, Prime Day itself just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you can see on the screen, last year was the biggest 2-day event. What is the opportunity for you, right? I think one thing to note is that Amazon Prime Day, Amazon itself will actually drive the traffic. They will do many ads around the world on TV, off TV, on buses, on MRT stations. So I think it's a really good opportunity for you to leverage on that to actually sell your products and get your brand out there. Second will be make sure you have inventory to sell through, because you're looking at 3 times 4 times the amount you're selling on that 48 hours period. And yeah, I'll touch more on inventory deals and optimization of your listing mix. So the first tip will be make sure that you have sufficient inventory. If you are really an Amazon seller, please remove all the excess inventory. Remove the stranded one too. Make sure you have enough for the 48 hours. And I will say that make sure you have start shipping, because right now we are seeing a global congestion in terms of supply chain. Next will be running deals. So there are 2 deals, so-called options that you can take on. One is coupons, and the other one is PED, Prime Exclusive Discount. Both allows you to actually so-called increase your sales conversion or sales velocity. And if you're worried about your margin, one of the tricks will be to increase your price just before the Prime Day itself to actually compensate on the profit margin. And next, this is actually the most simple thing to do as a seller, but many sellers in this part of the world don't really do it. It is actually just to optimize your listing itself, be it the photos, be it the description, the bullet points, and making sure the back end, the search term and leaf node are all done properly. I will say that out of 10 sellers in this part of the world, only 2 will do it well. The rest, they will just list and hope for the best. It may work in other marketplace, but in Amazon, due to how our algorithm is being designed, this really matters. These 6 areas needs attention, and if you can do this well, your sales will come in by itself. You don't really need to do much. And for today's webinar on the Amazon side, the most important thing to take note of will be the cutoff date will be 20th June. Prime Day itself is happening in July. The actual date is not released yet. Even internally, we don't know when is the actual date. You will only know when Amazon release a PR release. So wait for that, and you will know it soon. So by 20th June, you will need to have your inventory be at our warehouse in the US. The question is, people always ask, but what happens if my inventory misses this deadline? I will say that if it misses, it doesn't mean that you cannot sell on Amazon anymore. It means that you may miss the Prime Day itself, because it takes time for Amazon FBA associates to actually in-pro or inbound your inventory into the warehouses. So I've come to the end of my presentation slides. You can scan these 2 QR code. Don't worry, we'll also follow up with you over after this webinar. This webinar is recorded, so we will send you a copy of it after the webinar. So I would like now pass my time to our friends from Aspire. So Asha, you can take it away.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Arsha from Aspire. So today I am joined with my colleague, Bennett, who would be answering your questions during the Q&A later on. So during this session, I am going to go through some key problems that e-commerce companies face when using a financial provider and solutions to counter those issues. So stay tuned also to the end. We have an exclusive promo for you when you sign up for your Aspire account today. So do also keep sending in your questions so we can answer them during the Q&A later on. Next. So a little bit about Aspire is that we are a fintech company where we offer all-in-one solutions catered specifically for startups and SMEs. So ranging from business accounts, debit cards, spend management software, as well as credit loans. So basically we manage the functions in one platform. So business owners like yourself can focus on growing your business. We are also backed by tier 1 global investors like Sequoia, Y Combinator, as well as Beacon, to name a few. So let's start by learning more about the problems that you are facing when setting up a bank account. So maybe you could write some responses in the chat, mention some of the issues that you're facing. I see someone saying long approval time. Yep. High annual fees and FX rates. Yep, agreed. Anyone else? Minimum balance requirements. Yep, that's one of the problems a lot of our clients face as well. Any other responses? Okay, so yep, you're right. The first thing that I would say many of our clients face would be annual fees. Mehdi? Yep. So as a new business, I do not want to pay any fees at all. Next would be minimum balance as well. I'm pumping in funds to my new business. I don't want money that can be used for my business stuck in a bank account. High FX rates, as mentioned in the chat as well. Many financial institutions claim to have, competitive FX rates, but in reality, it is quite pricey. Long approval times as well. And we also have long lines at banks. So it takes a long process, especially with COVID, when the social distancing and we had to limit the amount of people entering banks, as well as number of counters that are open. There were long lines, and to get an account set up took really, really long. And lastly, also we have too much paperwork. So when starting a business, one of the first things you want to set up would be a bank account. So as a company that is just starting out, you want to avoid having any account that requires a minimum balance, charges monthly or annual fees, exorbitant FX rates, because these are costs that you can control. So we have a great solution for you. Just to go back one slide, please. Yeah. We have a great solution for you to counter those problems you're facing, which is our multi-currency account. So to create our multi-currency account with Aspire is free, as well as hassle-free. So you don't need to queue at a branch to open an account. These accounts are available for companies incorporated in Singapore in USD as well as SGD. And if you're based outside of Singapore, you would be able to open a USD account. And these multi-currency accounts, the details will be available upon instantly upon approval. So you will be also able to generate virtual cards as well. You don't need to wait weeks for accounts to be approved or for debit cards to be sent to you. You are able to generate as many virtual cards as you would like. There's no limit to that number of virtual cards, and all this can be managed through your Aspire app. Next. So some of the key features of our MCA accounts are withdrawal from Amazon US. So as Abel mentioned, selling in Amazon US would be the biggest market. So one key feature that we have is you are able to withdraw funds from your Amazon US account within 24 hours as compared to other platforms that range up to 5 days to 2 weeks just to withdraw your funds. And how this will work is once you receive sales from Amazon US, you would withdraw it into your Aspire USD account, and it will be received within 24 hours. This is great, especially if you want to make supplier payments. Abel also mentioned there is a backlog of shipments, so you do not want to risk any delayed shipments. So some of the key features of our MCA account is free US dollar to US dollar transfer via the ACH network. So this is the local network that they use in the US. This is great, especially when you're paying, logistics providers, distribution centers, or any vendors in the US. Alternatively, if you're not paying any of your payees in US, but you need to pay in US dollar outside of US, there will be an $8 SWIFT fee that will apply. So if you need to pay to a supplier in China into a US account in China, there will be an $8 SWIFT fee, and this will be regardless of the amount you transfer. So there will be no additional variable fees. You also get fee-free SGD to SGD transfers via the Fast Network. So this is great comparing to financial providers that you're probably familiar with in the market that charge 50 cents per transaction. We also have transparent and upfront FX rates. We integrate with Wise, so there's no hidden cost. What you see is really what you get. Once again, this account has no maintenance fees, no minimum balance, as well as no annual fees. Next. So with Prime Day coming up in July, you will need to stock up on your inventory to prepare for the hike in sales. So cash flow is very important to bridge the gap between supplier payments as well as receiving the payments from customers. So one of the best way to improve your cash flow is to get a corporate credit card. And that helps you with delayed payments. That helps you delay payments to the following month. However, it seems that not many SMEs are applying for corporate credit cards. So I'd like to open the floor again to understand what are the problems you have faced when applying for a corporate credit card. You can maybe type some of the issues that you have faced in the chat. Someone mentioned my company has only been incorporated for 1 year. I don't think this allows me to get a corporate credit card. Yeah, fair point. We are normally able to only get HDD credit cards and not USD. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so from what I gathered from the common issues that we found businesses face are minimum spend, minimum annual income, annual fees, as well as minimum operation period. As one of Tanaya I had mentioned, that she has only been incorporated for 1 year and the banks would not grant her a credit card because they require 2 years of operations. So next, so I have a solution. So let me introduce you to our advanced card. So I understand as an e-commerce, advertising takes up a chunk of your expenditure. So one way you are able to ease the cash flow is to put all your card spend, your tools, your marketing spend on your advance card. So advance card is a charge card that is pre-funded by Aspire. So in practice, it is quite similar to a credit card. In terms of billing cycle as well, with the advance card, you can enjoy up to 51 days interest-free. You'll be billed 30 days from first transaction and with 21 days payment terms. So the advance card is also available in most major currencies so that you don't incur any FX loss. So if your subscriptions are paid in USD, in euros, in pounds, it would be beneficial for you to get an advance card in that currency to save on FX rates. So once again, to apply, 100% free, no minimum spend, no extra fees charged by Aspire. And one good thing is the limits are determined with 6 months bank statements instead of 2 years. So working alongside our cards, we also have a budget feature with the many subscriptions that Amazon sellers use, such as Viral Launch, Jungle Scout, AMA Suite, Helium 10. So our budgets feature is able to help you keep on track and help you organize your spend seamlessly. So what you get is a bird's eye view of the company's spend in real time, so you can make better decisions faster. So when running an e-commerce, you want to create an ecosystem that is friendly, efficient, and cost-effective as well. So you can integrate your Aspire business account with Xero, QuickBooks, and save hours of manual work. And these transactions are also synced on an hourly basis, 24 times faster than a traditional bank would. Next. So as mentioned, we have a limited time offer for you. We are offering a $60 sign-up bonus and a 1% cashback on all your debit card spend for 3 months. So what you can do is you can scan the QR code in the next slide or click the link on the chat Maddie has sent and use the promo code NEW22601 when signing up to be eligible. So thank you again for your time. So once again, you can scan the QR code on the top right-hand corner to unlock the promo, as well as if you're not convinced, you can scan the below QR code and set up a meeting with me. So once again, keep sending your questions through and we will answer them during the Q&A. So maybe I can pass on the floor back to Abel.
Cool. Thanks, Asha. So anyway, I'll just answer some questions live on the chat, right? So I think the first and foremost is will Amazon accept Aspire advance card as credit cards though? Yes. So I think there isn't any issue, and we have not heard, and I think Aspire do have Amazon sellers already onboarded with them. So I don't see any issue with that. And let me see what other questions. I think there's one question from the Q&A about Amazon onboarding and there's no one coming back to you. I would like to firstly apologize on that front. I think in terms of experience when it comes to onboarding on Amazon, sometimes it can be quite problematic. The reason is also because how Amazon works is always a very self-service model. And I think right now my colleague at the back end is actually trying to assist right now. Don't worry, because if you do face issues, I will just drop an email address right now in the chat box. So if you have any issues regarding Amazon, you can always just email us. Yep. I'll be looking at the inbox after this webinar. So don't worry too much. We are here to help you. Then as for some comments, like incorporation, ComSec being expensive. To be very honest, the amount that you have posted in the chat, I don't think it's of that price. I don't think ComSec services is that expensive because I'm an Amazon seller myself, and in ComSec there are a few players, right? Like Osmo, there's Slick, and I don't think they're offering that. Their services is not that expensive. So and one more thing about selling on Amazon, you do not need to be a private limited to start off. You can kick off as a sole proprietor. So that's one thing to note. Okay, let me see. Is there any questions for Aspire? Yeah, I think one of the question is can what is, even if the percentage and deduction we give while using our bank accounts are 1%, what are the fees of this app? Can y'all open it in any country? Yeah, so I think Asha, I think I think the person is asking, can they open it in any country in Southeast Asia, like, or do they need to be based just in Singapore?
Yeah, so I can take that.
Yep.
So for the multi-currency account, it depends. So for the SGD account, you need to be based in Singapore. You need to have an entity in Singapore. For a USD account, you can be based outside of Singapore, right? Except the US. So all countries, apart from sanctioned countries and the US, we can open a USD account for you. That also applies to the advanced cards, right? You can be, for example, a merchant in Australia, and you want to be issued a US dollar advanced card. We can do that as well.
Cool. There's another question for you guys. In the event that I don't use an accounting software, how can I download the transaction for bookkeeping?
Okay, so within our app, you are actually able to download the transaction history in 3 formats, right? XL, CSV, as well as PDF. So you can use that for your internal bookkeeping. You can, tweak it in Excel. You can run your analysis. Shouldn't be a problem.
Cool. There's another question. What if I already have one multiplier currency account? I guess for this person, I think they're probably using another service provider, and I think the person is considering Aspire. So, yep. Is it possible to have two, or should we switch?
And there is no restriction to how many multi-currency accounts you can have, right? So you can have an existing multi-currency account with DBS or UOB. You can still open with this, right? I think it's a matter of what you intend to use the account for. If, for example, it's for free USD to USD transfers, right? Or the fact that we do not have a minimum balance or any recurring fees, you're welcome to open an account with us.
Cool. And I think to add on, I think what makes Aspire really unique for e-commerce seller, from my perspective, since I'm in the industry for a while, is that I think as an e-commerce seller, what Aspire really give is the suite of products and solutions that they have integrated on a platform itself. I think if you use Aspire, like what they have mentioned, if you're using Helium, Tank, Jungle Scout, advertising, be it off Amazon or on Amazon, everything can be transacted on Aspire. And I think from that perspective, I think Aspire will give you transparency. I think at the end of the day, like when you talk about bookkeeping, every month I want to know how much I have in terms of cash flow. And I think that's very important for any entrepreneur. And I think that's where Aspire is really strong at. And that's something that you guys should consider. Like what Ben mentioned, you can go with the traditional banks. But the traditional banks do also face some pain points that you guys may already know, right? So I think Aspire as a new bank and as a startup, I think they're really helping e-commerce entrepreneurs like yourself to solve problems. And I think on a monthly or quarterly basis, they do update and launch new products. So I think that is something that you guys should consider. Okay, another question for Aspire will be, for companies outside of USA, is there a restriction to currencies for advanced cards?
Broadly, no. There are certain restrictions, including currencies of sanctioned countries, right? But apart from that, there are no restrictions.
Cool. Yeah. There's one question for Amazon. If we do FBA, how much storage fee must we pay? I think my colleague YJ had already answered it, but I'll just share with everyone. When it comes to fees for Amazon, be it FBA or ads, right? It really depends on a few things. First and foremost, what category are you selling in? And for FBA, there's this thing called long-term storage. So if you are first time selling on Amazon, I will actually encourage you not to ship in too many. Be it 10 units or 100 units, that will be enough. Because what you want to know is that you want to know that there's demand in the US. You're not selling in Asia. I think one of the most common misconception is that if I have demand in Asia, it means that I have demand in US. This is not true, because the US, the Americans, think differently, and they buy things in a different way. So I would say that when it comes to fees, you can actually use the calculator to calculate, or you also can reach out to your account manager to actually understand more, to have it break down for you. So that's something for you to know. Yeah. Right now, is there any other questions on the ground for both Amazon and Aspire? I think let me see. Give me a moment. Okay, there's one more question. Are we able to receive funds into our Aspire account via PayNow?
Okay, you are able to receive funds into your Aspire account via PayNow. And by Aspire account, in this case, I mean the SGD account, right? You are not able to send via PayNow today from the Aspire account, but that is something we're working on in the pipeline for Q3.
Cool. Yep. So I think for all the e-commerce entrepreneurs out there, I mean, besides selling on Amazon, you are probably also selling on your own website and also other marketplace. I mean, it's multi-channel right now, right? You're trying to reach out to everyone. So I think that's where Aspire can also bring their features, and you can see everything in one platform. And I think that's really great. I have not found a platform right now in Singapore or in this region where it gives you so much visibility over the various platforms, because each platform requires API integration, which Aspire took the heavy lifting done for you guys. So like what they have mentioned, there'll be more products being launched through the year, right? So that's something really good. And there's one more question. I have suppliers in China that I need to pay using Visa card. Is that something Aspire can help me with?
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I think so long as the merchant can accept Visa payments, our card should work as well.
Cool. Yeah, I think on the Aspire side, do you want to share your QR code just to share the screen as we wait for more questions? Okay, how's the FX rate like right now? There's a question for you guys.
Okay, so if we talk about the FX transfers, right? Let's say you want to send SGD to USD, right? Essentially, our rates follow Wise's rates because we have an integration with Wise, and Wise is known in the market to be one of the more competitive players. I think one of the great things about their product is that before you send a transfer, you can actually see exactly how much you are paying in terms of fees, as well as the FX rate that is being charged, right? So everything is very transparent, and I believe it's a very competitive rate.
Yeah, there's another follow-up question. Any setup fees for USD account or the cards?
There are no setup fees, right? For both the account and the cards. There are also no recurring fees. So this means no annual fees, no monthly fees. It's basically a free platform that you can simply plug and play.
Cool. Yeah, is there any other questions from the ground? Anything you'd like to ask about payments, Amazon? We are here to answer them right now. Let's give it one more minute. While we wait, please scan the QR code as you can see on your screen. Cool. Looks like we don't have any other questions. So thanks so much, folks, for joining this webinar. As mentioned, this webinar is recorded and we'll be following up via email. Moving forward, if you have any questions for Amazon, please drop us an email at globalselling-singapore@amazon.com and we will reply them accordingly. So I'd like to thank our friends from Aspire for joining us today. I think I have learned a lot from you guys too. And thanks everyone. Stay safe. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.